let's head on over to Winter Park and back in time, where Jim's got a question about an old car. Go ahead, Jim.
Hi, Larry. I'll make this as quick as I can. I got a Model A, and, if you got a Model A, you got to work on it yourself, or people in the club will kind of laugh at you. But I think I might have bit off more than I could chew on this one. It got a rod knocking, and I assume it's the rod. I took the valve cover off and pushed on all the valves and couldn't change I would call it a knock at cold and a tick at hot.
Okay.
And so I took the plugs out of it, and I can turn it over with the fan. And at a certain point, jerking it back and forth with the fan, you can hear a clunk, clunk, clunk. So I ruled out the wrist pins, because I thought maybe that would clunk any time you jerk the motor back and forth.
Yeah.
So it sounded like number 2 rod, so I pulled the pan off. And number 2 rod was the loosest rod.
Okay.
But how loose is loose, I don't know. I'm not a mechanic.
Hey, if you can move it, Jim, listen, if you can move it and you can physically feel it move, it's too loose. Now listen, in this engine, what's got to be done is got to get a set of updated rods for it that'll hold a regular insert bearing as opposed to the old Babbitt style. I wouldn't even try to go back with Babbitt's on that old style rod. They make rods. We put pistons, whatever we need to, on the end of it, rings. But where they go onto the crank. See, what they did was you used tin and a few other metals, sometimes even some lead, and you would dip that rod into that, and then you would machine that to get it to the clearance. And they don't hold up a long time. It's just they don't last that long. What I would suggest doing is just go and we just get updated rods for it and just build the motor that way. It'll hold together a long time like that. But they make updated rods to replace the old Babbitt style bearings that actually went in there. So I think that would be your best bet. If you need help with it, give me a holler. Let me know. Bring it down. I'll put it on an engine stand. We'll go through it. It ain't no big thing, but we have to update those rods, especially if it's got the original ones in it. Plastic gauge, on that motor, you're going to be wanting somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,500 to maximum of 2,000 oil clearance. And it sounds like you could throw a cat between the crankshaft journal and your rod. So yeah, if you keep running it like that, you're going to wind up messing the crank up too. Hopefully the crankshaft's okay. A lot of times, see, the crankshaft's a lot harder than the Babbitt. So the Babbitt is more or less sacrificial in those older engines, considering the oil that we had to use back in the day. So hopefully we can just get a set of updated rods put in there and just check everything over, throw it all back together, and it'll run like a sewing machine, all 40 horsepower, just like it was from the factory. Well, folks, I'm kind of out of time, and there's a bunch of you still on hold. I'm absolutely flattered that you called in today and kept us all busy. Thanks for tuning in. You listeners, customers, show sponsors are the reason we do the show, and I have a job. You can tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time in Central Florida on 107.3 FM, HD Radio 96.5 2 and AM 580, worldwide at wdbo.com, and click listen live or just tell your smart speaker to play WDBO radio every Saturday at 3 p.m. If you need help with your vehicle, you can always call Magic Mechanic at 407-629-2661. Visit our website, magicmechanic.com, or you can also email me car questions directly to me, Larry at magicmechanic.com. And don't forget to check out our new YouTube channel. Just put in Magic Mechanic YouTube, and shoot, you can watch last week's, you can hear, you can actually watch the radio show. It's really kind of a kick, I always tell folks, I say, I got to get used to not picking my nose, especially during the course of the radio show now. You imagine that? Hey, folks, until next week, be safe in and out of your car. We'll see you back here next Saturday at 3 p.m.